As Season 1 closes its chapter, our beloved Proxies are leaving New Eridu and finally stepping into their long-awaited training arc. And this time, they're not alone. Xuan, the master or Shifu of Yunqui Summit, has taken it upon herself to train the two siblings and help unlock their true potential. But before we dive deeper, here's a quick disclaimer. This content is from the Creator Test Server, a development version. Final content is subject to the official release. Xuan is a Rupture class and Auric ink agent. Her introduction is nothing short of mind-blowing. According to the lore, even though she isn't a Void Hunter, her skills are on par with one. I mean, she literally had a sparring session with Miyabi in her PV. The Rupture class specializes in using sheer force to break through enemy defenses and deal increased damage. As for Auric ink, it's a powerful variant of Ether. It even has its own damage scaling and mechanics. On a smaller note, Xuan will also be receiving a skin. And don't worry, you can switch between her traditional Shifu outfit and her more refined, elegant style, both of which are visually captivating. Now let's talk about Auric ink and the corruption mechanics. Auric ink may look like Ether, but it plays by its own rules. It uses different anomaly multipliers and builds up a separate anomaly gauge, meaning it doesn't overwrite Ether. In fact, it can trigger disorder with Ether at the same time, making it excellent for combo setups. When you deal Auric ink damage, it builds corruption on enemies. Once active, corruption causes bonus Ether damage over time. And if the enemy is weak to Ether, corruption can even interrupt their actions, opening up huge windows for attacks. Best part? Even though Auric ink has its own mechanics, it still benefits from Ether damage boosts. So if you're already building Ether, you're helping Xuan hit harder. Xuan also uses a new stat called Sheer Force, which increases sheer damage. For Rupture agents like Xuan, a portion of their attack is converted into Sheer Force to help them break through enemy defenses even faster. Now let's try to understand how Xuan works in the battlefield. Unlike other agents, Xuan scales on HP, crit rate, and crit damage, so your builds will need to focus around those. Thankfully, the new W engines and disk drives are designed to give her the boosts she needs. When combat starts, Xuan gains 120 adrenaline. Hold the attack button to consume adrenaline and activate her EX attack, Cloud Shaper. Continue holding to chain into her ink manifestation attacks, all the way up to her third hit wing attack. As she consumes adrenaline, she builds technique points. Once those reach 120, you can press the ultimate button to activate her Endless Talisman Suppression, which will also give her one Auric ink point. Xuan has two variations of her ultimate, depending on whether her technique gauge is full. So, it's important to balance her adrenaline and technique points. Hold attacks wisely, because while they consume adrenaline, they also help charge technique. One unique mechanic Xuan has is the ability to parry enemy attacks using her held EX attack. Timing it right can give you a strong edge in combat. And yes, watching her fly off while being carried by her Inkbird companion is both cool and hilarious. Just remember to optimize her rotation manage adrenaline properly while keeping an eye on technique. Let's talk about Xuan's best W engines. And yes, there are options for all types of players, from the lucky whales to the F2P survivors. First up is her signature W engine, Qingming Birdcage. This thing is cracked. It gives a flat 20% crit rate, and every time she lands an X attack, she gains a stacking buff called Qingming Companion that lasts 15 seconds and stacks twice. On top of that, it boosts her Ether damage by 8% when using EX attacks and up to 10% when she uses her ultimate. If you're pulling for Xuan, this W engine is basically glued to her soul. Next is Radio Wave Journey, a great alternative if you somehow don't pull her signature. This one scales with HP percent, which is perfect since Xuan loves stacking health. After launching a chain attack or ultimate, it gives her a buff that boosts her sheer force by 80 per stack. Solid choice and reliable, especially if you're building her around raw breaking power. And for my fellow F2P proxies, there's Cinder Cobalt, a budget B-rank W engine that offers some HP percent buffs. Nothing fancy, but hey, it keeps her alive and punching until you save up for the real deal. Just don't expect miracles. For her disk drives, Proxies could use these options. Main set, 4-piece, Yunqui Tails, 2-piece bonus, plus 10% HP, 4-piece bonus, Increases crit rate by 4%, up to 3 stacks, and plus 10% sheer damage. Recommended 2-piece pairings, Branch and Bladesong, plus 16% crit damage. Thundering Woodpecker. Use this if you need that extra 8% crit rate. Disk drive slots. For slot 4, prioritize crit rate or crit damage. For slot 5, go for ether damage. For slot 6, HP percent, essential for her scaling. Let's talk team comps for Xuan. Whether you're running a tight F2P roster or you've got a lineup stacked with S ranks, she's got the flexibility to fit right in. Starting with F2P friendly options, one of the best and most well-rounded teams is Xuan, Pan Yinhu, and Nicole. Pan brings solid impact damage, Nicole offers ether support and debuffs, and Xuan gets the freedom to go all in. It's a reliable comp that performs well across most content. Another safe and highly consistent team is Xuan, Anbi Damara, and Nicole. This combo is easy to build and has good synergy once you learn their flow. Xuan's damage, paired with Anbi's aftershock mechanics and Nicole's support, makes for a smooth and stable experience. For something a bit more unique, try Xuan, Pan Yinhu, and Pulchra. This setup leans heavily on Pulchra's X usage and Pan's follow-up potential, with Xuan dishing out the main damage when the field is set. Now for the premium options where S ranks roam free, Xuan, Caesar, and Astra Yao is a top-tier comp in terms of raw power. It's not exactly wallet-friendly, but if you've got the team, you'll be clearing content with ease. Xuan, Pan Yinhu, and Vivian is another strong team, though a bit more technical. It takes some practice to get the switch timing right between Vivian and the other two, but once it clicks, this team can melt through high-level enemies. Then we have Xuan, Caesar, and Nicole, a balanced trio with solid damage output, sustain, and excellent support across the board. It's simple, effective, and easy to use. And for those who love testing fun combos, Xuan, Trigger, and Rina is a bit of an experimental setup. But since Xuan's passive gives buffs to Electro allies, there's actually a surprising amount of synergy here. It may not be meta-breaking, but it's definitely worth a try if you're into off-meta builds. There are still more combos to test. Xuan has great flexibility thanks to her kit. Final thoughts. Is Xuan worth pulling? Absolutely. Xuan is a must-pull if you want a powerful new DPS with enhanced Auric ink damage, glide mechanics, and parry potential. Plus, since she benefits from having a stunner on her team, pulling Ju Fufu in Phase 2 of the 2.0 update is a smart move. Just make sure to prepare her materials early. Her Rupture archetype is brand new, so farm those Dennies while you can.